Hello, this is Dandoozi, your cozy corner for hobbies like Legos, Pokemon, collectibles, and whatever else I'm up to. Today I'm opening up this Mega Zygarde EX pack. It's got 8 booster packs, a tech sticker inside, one of the big jumbo cards, and of course the promo Mega Zygarde card. Gotta say, I am a huge fan of Mega Zygarde EX. I'm playing through Pokemon Z to A Legends at the moment. I'm just about through with the game. Without giving away too much, in case anyone's playing, just this evolution of Zygarde is really, really cool to see in the game. I highly recommend playing the game. It's been really a lot of fun. All right, but let's open this up and see what we get. I think these are mostly perfect order booster packs, but we'll see once we get inside. Got quite a collection of these large cards now. I like picking up these packs with these big old cards because they are just really cool. It's probably hard to see in the film, but it is it's like a hologram. It's 3D. And this is the same as the promo card, which I have right here, the smaller version. So you can see this card is very shiny. The colors are very defined. I like the look of it a lot. But since we have it, let's look at the big card, because why not? This is, so Mega Zygarde EX, first of all, typically the Mega Evolve cards, if they get knocked out, your opponent actually gets to take 3 prize cards. So it's a pretty big risk playing these, but I mean, for the attacks you get, it's usually well worth it, I think. For instance, this card it's a basic Pokemon, which means you'd be able to put this card out right away. You don't need to evolve it at all, which is a huge advantage. Let's see, Gaia Wave. So the first attack, you only need 3 energy. That's going to do 200 damage. And on top of that, during your opponent's next turn, sorry, there's the glare there. I will look at this card. Maybe it'll show up a little better. During your opponent's next turn, you take 30 less damage from attack. So this Pokemon does. And then there's Nullifying 0, which needs 5 energies, so you have to build it up quite a bit, but the payoff is huge. For each of your opponent's Pokemon, flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 150 damage to that Pokemon. Now imagine you played, I believe there's a card, and I'm blanking on the card's name right now, but there's a card that on coin flips, it gives you advantage on the flip. I think it lets you flip twice, flip it again, or maybe it's an automatic heads. I'll have to look it up. I think it's called Blunder Policy. But you could do 150 damage to potentially 6 of your opponent's Pokemon, 5 for the bench, 1 for their active. That's a lot of damage. So this is, and once you get 5 energy on this card, you can keep doing that attack. It doesn't lose energy, and it has 310 HP. So this is just a brilliant card to have. Here's the tech sticker. So this is I think this is like the final Mega Zygarde EX form. He has like 4 different forms, and this is the last one where he's just got a big giant bazooka over his head. Very neat. All right, let's start digging into the packs. Hopefully we get some good ones. Okay, we'll start with the Meowth. Perfect order. Alrighty. Start with the energy, electric energy. Here we go. Alright, first up is Doublade. Weaponized swords for 2 energy. Reveal any number of Hone Edge, Doublade, and Aegislash from your hand. And this attack does 60 damage for each card you revealed in this way. Oh, big damage potential there. Doublade is really cool to see. All Hone Edge, Doublade, Aegislash, they're cool to see in Z to A. Especially, I like Hone Edge's design. I really think it's cool how the sword unsheathes. Skorupi. Keep him closer. A Spewpaw. I'm going to move the big card off screen just in case it's messing with the focus of my camera. Tyrunt. Tyrunt is a Pokemon that you have to evolve from a fossil. You need the Jaw fossil. Drapion. So this will go with that Skorupi I just drew. Drapion's typically really strong. Hazardous Tail there does 100 damage. But then it's going to do 70 damage to itself. But your opponent is going to be paralyzed and poisoned. So give and take. Energy Swatter. I don't know that I've seen this. It's an item card. Your opponent reveals their hand, and you choose an energy card you find there and put it on the bottom of their deck. Okay. Meowstic. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused with the Perplex attack or Psychic. This attack does 30 more damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. Meowstic has 2 forms. I believe this, and it's based on their gender. I think this is the female one. The male, I think, has the dark blue pattern, is more prominent. Okay, and here's a reverse hollow Raticate. That's a neat one. The reverse hollows in these perfect order packs are a little different in their design, in that there's not much going on in the background. It's just got a sleek, shiny look to it, and I kind of really like it. Reverse hollow Scatterbug. Go with that Spewpaw I got. And lastly, a hollow Dugong. Neat. So let's see, it has an ability, Wash Out. As often as you like during your turn, you may use this ability. Move a water energy from one of your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. Nice, so you can shift some energy around. Okay, good first pack. I don't know that I have that Dugong. I think that's a new one. All right, now we've got another perfect order pack. This one with Zygarde on the front. Another electric energy. Salandit. Fletchling. I like Fletchlings. Oh, and if you notice in this artwork here, so this is all kind of related to the Z to A game. If you played the game, you can see Prism Tower in the background of that artwork. Fletchlings show up all over the city. That's a cool little detail in that art. Scatterbug. I just pulled a reverse holo of that. Haunter. That's a neat artwork too. Naveen. This is one of the characters in Z to A. Supporter card. Draw cards until you have 5 cards in your hand. Before drawing cards, you may discard any number of cards from your hand. Hippowdon. Oh, again, so that trainer in the back, I think his name is Tarragon, so he's from Z to A as well. Yeah, if you played Tarragon from your hand during this turn, I'm looking at the Twister Spewing, discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. So you want to have a Tarragon supporter card. Cool. Hippowdon also has different colors based on gender. There's a female and a male coloration difference. Illumio Skelet, another Z to A reference. It's an item, heal 20 damage and remove a special condition from your active Pokemon. That's an item from Z to A. Another Fletchling, this one is a reverse holo. You can see the shine. And a Ghastly reverse holo. Go with that Haunter that I got. And again, so this, if you look closely at the artwork there, in the game, I think it's Wild Zone 3 in Z to A Legends, you find Ghastlies all over this graveyard. You can see the graveyard in the artwork. I don't think I noticed these details before. I hadn't played the game yet. Nice, and a superior holo card. So let's see, Regal Command. This attack does 20 damage for each of your Pokemon in play. Or Solar Coiling. If Rosa's Encouragement is in your discard pile, this attack does 150 more damage. I don't think I have a Rosa's Encouragement. I'm going to have to look out for it. But that could do 250 damage then if you're able to manage that. Okay, the Naveen card I pulled earlier that allows you to discard, that is an instance you could use to add an advantage for this card. As an example, you could discard the Rosa's Encouragement, and then when you do that, this card suddenly can do 150 extra damage on top of the 100 it's already doing. So there's different strategies you have to think of when you're building your decks. And how could cards work well together? All right, we have another Zygarde Perfect Order. Fighting Energy. Another Tyrant. Servine. So this can go with my Superior there. This is Superior stage 2. Servine is stage 1. Now I just need a Snivy for the basic. And I'm sure I've got a Snivy. Clefairy, my wife's favorite. I don't know that I've seen that artwork. Very cool. Always cute Clefairy. Another Ghastly. Shaman. Let's see what Send Flowers is. Search your deck for an energy card and attach it to one of your benched grass Pokemon. Right. Shamans are typically pretty useful in that way. They're good supporter cards. Turtonator has an ability. If this Pokemon is in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, discard an energy from the attacking Pokemon. Wow. And then Heat Breath. Flip a coin. If heads, this attack does 80 more damage. That is a strong Turtonator. Judge. Each player shuffles a hand to their deck and draws 4 cards. This is a super, super useful card. I think I mentioned this in every video I pull it, but if you have a Pokemon that does more damage when you have the same amount of cards in your hand as your opponent, this is the card you want to have because you can even out your cards and your opponent's cards and do extra damage. Super useful. Another Naveen. This one is a reverse holo. Cool. And a reverse holo Aegislash. I got that Doublade earlier. Geez, that Metal Slash does 230 damage. Or Slash for just 80. If you use Metal Slash during your next turn, this Pokemon can't use attacks. But still, 230 damage, that's worth it. Wow. And we have another Holo Superior. So 2 of these. Got doubled up the Superiors. Okay, now we have another perfect order with a Mega Evolution Clefable on the front. Get some big old fairy wings. Metal Energy. Binacle. These dudes are funny little Pokemon. Alrighty. Rowlet. Near and dear to my heart since Arceus. I listened to a podcast recently that was kind of calling out the design of the Decidueye in Arceus, switching to the red coloration. I disagree with these particular folks saying it wasn't a good choice. I really like the red, and me being someone who's green is my favorite color. An antique jaw fossil. So this will go with my Tyrants. So fossils, they're used as basic Pokemon. That's why there's HP there in the corner. There is an ability with this one. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active Pokemon do 30 less damage. So this is what you need to get to evolve into Tyrant. Amara. So this is another fossil Pokemon. This one you need the Sail fossil. Another Drapion. Another energy swatter. Another Meowstic. Getting a lot of doubles now. Potion. I feel like this artwork has not changed. It's always the same, but reverse holo. Yes, all right. Special illustration. Esper. This looks like the Esper that hangs out with the investigator in Legend Z to A. Yes, I love special illustration cards. Cool. I forget the Esper's name. That Esper in this artwork has a specific name. I can't remember what it is right now. I think it starts with an M. Maybe it says in the Pokédex. No. Still very cool. Yeah, she's the investigator's helper. Yes, I think special illustrations are my favorites to find. These and, of course, the megas. Cool, look at that. Growing Energy, holo. As long as this card is attached to a Pokemon, it provides Grass Energy. The Grass Energy this card is attached to gets plus 20 HP. Very neat. All right. Let's keep going with the Clefable. Perfect order. Okay. Water Energy. Probopass. What's going on there in the artwork? So he's got his three little friends, it looks like. His attack. Obliterating Nose. Suiting. 260 damage. Discard 3 energy from this Pokemon. Big damage potential in Probopass. And we've got a Snorlax Classic. What is Gormandizer? Flip a coin until you get tails. Search your deck for an amount of basic energy up to the number of heads and attach it to this Pokemon. Then shuffle your deck. Very good. Collapse does 160 damage, but Snorlax falls asleep. Of course. Deden. However you say it. Dedenne. Cute little guy. And this looks like, so in the artwork, looks like he's standing outside of Quasartico Corporation, which tells me that this must be one of the 2 little Pokemon guards outside of Quasartico. There's 2 Deden that guard the facility, and this must be one of them. Spritzy. Jacinth. Supporter card. Heal 150 damage from one of your psychic Pokemon. She's an interesting character in Z-Day. Another Meowstic. That's my 3rd one of those. Esper evolves into Meowstic. 3rd Drapion as well. Now we have a reverse holo Judge. Nice. Reverse holo Tyrantrum. So this guy evolves from Tyrunt. See what his ability is. Tyrannically Gutsy. If this Pokemon has any special energy attached, it gets plus 150 energy. 150 HP. And then the Wreak Havoc attack does 160 damage, Flip a coin until you get tails. For each heads, discard the top card of your opponent's deck. Very strong card. And special energy, this grass energy that I pulled earlier, the growing energy, is a special energy because it's more than just, it's doing something to the Pokemon. Like that one's providing health. So that is a special energy card. And it will say on the card, special energy. You can see at the top. Special energy versus basic energy. All right. And very nice. A Hollow Landorus. Let's see. Screw Knuckle does 120 damage. Put an energy attached to this Pokemon into your hand. All right. Very nice. Let's keep it moving. And we have a Phantasmal Flames with the Heracross, Mega Heracross. Fighting Energy. Piloswine. Frost Smash for 70 damage. Apom. Pomu. Gloom. I feel like this is a classic art style. I don't know. I feel like I've seen this card a lot. I might have a lot of these. I just watched the Indigo League episode where Ash fights Erica as well with her Gloom. Fun times rewatching the anime. Mamoswine evolves from that Piloswine I just pulled. Blizzard Edge does 200 damage. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. There's a really cool moment in Pokemon Snap where you come across a Mamoswine. As you would expect, he's a very, very large Pokemon. Meloetta. I think that's right. Meloetta. I'm not familiar with this one. Kind of new to me. I know I've seen this one before, but this might be a mythical Pokemon. I'm not certain. Don't know much about this one. What's the Pokédex number? 648. Okay, that makes sense. So that's about the mid-range. There was a time I kind of missed playing Pokemon, and it was right about the middle of the Pokédex, like 400 to 700 range, 400 to 700 Pokédex range. Pokemon Tool, Sacred Charm. Pokemon this card is attached to takes 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So they have to have an ability. That said, about missing Pokemon, I am having a lot of fun now re-exploring, rediscovering Pokemon that I missed for the first time. It's been really exciting. A cool reverse hollow Charcadet. Oh, that looks really neat. The red really stands out. Cool. Yes, all right. Another special illustration. One that I can never pronounce the name of. I'll try. Tojedimaru. Tojedimaru. I can never say this guy, the little hedgehog. All right, we have 2 special illustrations now. Cute little artwork. Put it right next to the cute Esper. And cool, lastly, a Holo Zaxian. Limit break. If your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining, this attack does 90 more damage. So 140 damage potential for only 2 energy. All right, we're going to go with the Phantasmal Flames with the Mega Lopunny. By the way, speaking of Lopunny, if you are playing Z to A Legends, much like evolving Golbat into Crobat, to evolve Buniri into Lopunny, you need to establish a high level of friendship with them. There's a few Pokemon now that you have to do that with, and a trick that I learned in Z to A is just take them to a cafe and sit with your Pokemon, drink tea, have coffee. You do that 3, maybe 4 times, and the friendship maxes out. So just a little trick. It's a good way to get your Sylveon or your Umbreon, your Espeon or your Lopunny. Oh, hey, there's another one. So this is the same card. Just one is special illustration, one is the regular. Has the same attack, same moves. Pommy. Good, I had a Pommo a little bit ago. Another Charcadet. This is the same card, just not a reverse holo this time. Murkrow. Stadium card. I've never seen this stadium. Dizzying Valley. Confused Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, don't recover from that special condition when they evolve or devolve. Oh, wow. So confusion remains. All creamy. This one always makes me chuckle. All the food ones, Milcery, Slurpuff. And I don't know, it's a little silly, but that's kind of what the whole Scarlet and Violet vibe was. I feel like they made a lot of food related Pokemon. Another Mamoswine. Reverse Holo Ghastly. Different artwork than the ones I pulled earlier. Reverse Holo Swinub. So I pulled the whole Swinub line. There we go. And a Holo Flygon. Has an ability, Sandy Flapping. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability. You may also use this ability if this Pokemon is in the active spot and is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon. Discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. And Cutting Wind for only 2 energy does 130 damage. Then I think I forgot to pull the energy. Yep, Fighting Energy. All right, last pack here. We have the Starmie, the infamous Starmie Mega Evolution. People were making fun of the way he gets up and walks around. I don't know, I kind of like him. The star on his back spins around like a backpack. I don't know, it's kind of fun. I mean, the idea of Mega Evolutions, Terra Evolutions, Dynamaxing, it can be kind of a silly concept in itself. Like, they're going beyond their limits. So sometimes they're going to look a little silly doing that, I think. Metal Energy. Let's move the Flygon. Ariados. Klefki. This is more Z to A artwork. This is in the sewers of Z to A, where you find a lot of the Klefkis. Energy Search. Much like the potion, this artwork has not changed much. Staryu. Fitting for this pack. Luxio has an ability, Fighting Roar. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this Pokemon can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. Highly useful. Luxrays are usually really strong cards. Another Jacynth. Yet another Meowstic, fourth one. Chien Pao. I think this is a pseudo-legendary Pokemon. Let's see, Rising Blade. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this attack does 80 more damage, so 160 damage potential. Kind of cool about this Pokemon, if you look closely at the fangs, it's actually a broken sword, a sword that's been cut in half, but there's icicles on the end of each side, so it's sharp on both ends. Interesting, that's a dark type as well, not an ice type. Another Drapion, fourth one of these guys. This one's a reverse holo though. So is that Chien Pao. They're both reverse holo. Yes, all right, and a Lapras EX to finish this off. Cool. Let's see, Hydro Turn. This attack does 30 damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, so it's a way to get Lapras out if you need to. And Surf for 140 damage. Awesome. So let's see, if you had 3 energies attached, you could do the 130 damage with Surf. Put a 4th one on, you're doing, you would need 5 energies to do more damage output, but potentially you could do however many water energies you attach to this Pokemon, but just keep in mind you're going to have to switch Lapras out when you use Hydro Turn. But still, very good card. And this is just your standard EX. So your opponent would only take 2 prize cards if they were to be knocked out, versus the Zygarde, which is a Mega Zygarde EX. Your opponent would be able to take 3 cards. Alrighty, so that is everything from this pack. Got some really cool stuff, some special illustrations, a couple EXs, including the promo, and a big promo card, and even a sticker. So very, very cool pack. Thanks so much for watching.